when the best go up against the best, they're going to play high-end poker.
There really is no tougher field than the PCA Super High Roller.
Oh boy, I had a lot of outs.
They're forced to focus.
It's extremely high level.
It's the best poker players in the world. The challenge is just amazing.
To be the best, you have to beat the best.
The level of play is so far beyond anything else that you really encounter on a day-to-day basis.
And only one can prevail.
I love pressure. I love adrenaline rushes like that. And this is definitely an adrenaline rush.
We're in the Bahamas for the first event of the 2012 PCA. We started with 30 of the world's best players, with a few wealthy businessmen sprinkled in for good measure. They each ponied up $100,000, generating a prize pool of over $3 million. Right now, 13 players remain, meaning one of poker's elite will have the title and a first prize of over $1.2 million to their already bulging poker resume. Here at the PokerStars.net Caribbean Adventure Super High Roller. Well, let's remind ourselves of what happened last time. We saw Daniel Negreanu take a big step towards improving his runner-up finish last year.
Come on, call. Was that big? It was salivating.
There were some high-profile exits.
Mercier's out on free roller.
Yep. But it was Isaac Haxton who continued to dominate, as he has done this entire tournament.
Bienvenidos de nuevo al Atlantis Resort de Isla Paraíso, donde ya ha transcurrido la mitad de este día 2 del Super High Roller de la PCA. Es el momento de averiguar quién va a alcanzar la mesa final del evento más exclusivo.
It's almost a year to the day since online phenomenon Isildur 1 was revealed to be the young Swedish pro Victor Blom. Could this be where he makes his live poker breakthrough? So far, day 2's been kind to Kid Poker. He's rocketed into second place on the leaderboard, and second is a position he knows all too well.
Last year, I started off the year, and within the first week, I was $1 million ahead. And I'm looking forward to, just getting that one spot ahead of last year.
Daniel and his fellow Canadians make up almost a third of the remaining field. Well, he may be the only Latin American representative, but this shark is in familiar waters.
Gamble with Humberto.
And he loves splashing around.
Para mí ganar este evento es realmente seguir en la carrera. Yo creo que no va a ser ni el primero ni el último que juegue de estos.
Chip leader Isaac Haxton is hoping to steamroller his way to the final table, but the reigning PCA main event champion has other ideas.
I sit down, I look at all the chips in the room, and the tournament ends when somebody wins all the chips, and that's the only thing that really matters.
Is that your Annie?
It's time to get cards in the air once again.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Victor's hiding today. Victor, you're hiding today. It's funny that he woke up today with a hoodie and sunglasses after yesterday.
I think a couple people put a lot of fear in him. I think you put a lot of fear in him.
Yeah, when the ace-queen hand he played against.
I think Isaac put a lot of fear in him.
I checked back twice, and he had the nuts, and he was like, I play so bad. He's mad at himself.
Yeah, I think a lot of people put the fear in him.
No, rightfully so.
Man, high school is so cliquey. Oh, wait a second. This is a poker tournament.
On our outer table is the chip leader, Isaac Haxton, and the subject of Scott and Daniel's conversation, Victor Blom. And then on the TV table, Daniel has the chip lead, and Mike McDonald is the current short stack, playing 171,000.
Scott and Daniel have all the chips, and they're sitting next to each other, which means they should be pretty chatty.
Blinds 4,000, 8,000, with an ante of 1,000. It'll be Jonathan Duhamel first to speak. He folds. Roberto Brenes has King-Queen suited.
Queen suited so good, it's like having 3 cards.
He raises it to 20k. Gets a fold from Sam Stein. And from Mike McDonald. Scott Seaver on the button with King-Jack.
Umberto's pretty tight, but I wouldn't expect Scott to fold this in position, even though we know he's dominated.
He calls. Daniel Negreanu folds the small blind. And in the big blind, Eric Seidel will also call.
Eric's getting some decent immediate pot odds.
So three-way to the flop. Deuce, six, deuce with two clubs.
Everybody misses this flop like the deserts miss the rain.
It's been checked to Umberto. And he will c-bet for 32,000.
C-betting with king high, which is actually the best hand.
Scott will call. And Eric will muck.
It's a good thing that Shark can swim because I think Scott Seaver's floating.
Five of clubs on the turn. Gives Scott a flush draw.
Floating's when you call with nothing to try to take it away on a later street. Or so I've heard.
Umberto now checks.
Scott's actually got a decent draw now to the jack high flush, and here comes the bet.
76,000.
Umberto really can't call. No pair, no draw. Gotta give Scott credit. He knows Umberto's game all too well.
Oh my gosh.
A frustrated fold from Umberto.
Aw, sad Shark.
Scott Seaver adds 82,000 to his stack.
Scott knows Umberto's just one of those old school pros who's never gonna hero call down.
Now, if Twitter is your thing, you can follow us and you can tweet about this tournament using the hashtag PCA.
It is, and I do, and I have.
On the outer table, Ike Haxton is facing a 4-bet from Galen Hall.
All in.
And there's a 5-bet shove from the chip leader. Enough to put Galen Hall all in. He quickly folds.
4-bet Instamuck. Love that move.
Haxton now up to 1.7 million.
Like, when I was opening, I took a while because, like, there's almost like a 90% chance I get 3-bet right now. Right? So I was like, I'm definitely getting 3-bet.
Galen Hall currently getting owned by Isaac Haxton. But last year, Galen Hall owned the PCA main event, taking it down for $2.3 million. He says he put the money towards going to Stanford University. Wow, college in America really is expensive.
Last year, I won the PCA main event, so it's pretty fun to come back here and walk through the halls and, you know, get all those feelings of what that was like. And it certainly gives me a lot of confidence, you know, playing in such a tough field, you know, remembering what happened on that stage last year.
Boy, you know, poker's really reached a new era when players are talking about their feelings. Noah Brunson's never had a feeling in his whole life.
Those are the 10 biggest stacks right now. 13 players remain in the tournament. Remember, our ambition today is to play down to our final 8. Action on the feature table is on Sam Stein. 8-10 of diamonds under the gun. And he's raising 17,000.
Raising under the gun. Let's see if it gets the respect it doesn't deserve.
So far, everyone has mucked. All the way around to Umberto in the big blind. Queen 10.
Umberto is pretty nitty. So Sam's Spidey sense should already be tingling.
Umberto makes the call. They see a flop of Queen 6-10. 2 pair for Umberto, 2nd pair for Sam. Umberto's checked to him.
Umberto's playing in flow. Wants Sam to bet for him. Sam's got middle pair, and that's usually more than enough to see a continuation bet.
No, he checks behind.
Maybe trying to keep the pot small.
Sam now picks up a monster draw. Umberto checks again. I don't think Sam will check a second time.
Umberto certainly could have bet there. Looks like he's going to let the whippersnapper do it for him.
Stein makes it 24,000.
Sam's got a lot of equity in this pot with his straight and flush draws. Umberto's still with the best hand.
Umberto has just check raised to 80,000.
Umberto's right to charge Sam to draw. Umberto's image is so tight, it's got to be hard for Sam to think he's ahead, but also I don't see how he can fold. He's got plenty of outs. The 10 is not one of them.
He makes the call. We go to the river. And that's a brick for Sam Stein.
Umberto should feel pretty safe.
Umberto goes for value, 85,000.
Doesn't look like Sam's going to be able to pay him off.
Really? What tells you that?
3 of spades.
The 3 of spades tells me that. It was a pretty big brick.
Umberto wins the pot.
I had a lot of outs.
Yeah, but the tray of bricks wasn't one of them.
Oh, boy.
So Umberto adds 107,000 chips to his stack. But the shark is always hungry for more.
Go and catch them every day. That's what I'm talking about. Every day.
Welcome back to the Bahamas for the 2012 PCA Super High Roller. At the Atlantis Resort, we are surrounded by shark-infested waters. Before the break, Sam Stein found himself in the jaws of Humberto the Shark Brenes.
El póker siempre ha sido un hobby para mí, esa es la realidad. Yo juego desde que tengo 7, 8 años. Papá jugaba con un grupo de amigos y ahí aprendí. Soy ingeniero industrial, me gradué de la Universidad de Costa Rica, tengo mis propias compañías. Tal vez la fundamental ahora es nueces industriales. Sigo ahora, más bien estoy tratando de empujar a mis hijos que sean ellos los que vayan cogiendo el manto. Tengo 3 hijos. El mayor se llama, igual que mí, Humberto Brenes. Tiene 22 años. Está estudiando ingeniería industrial. Hoy no puedo venir a este torneo, no está conmigo. Mi segundo hijo es Roberto, es el que me acompaña. Ahí está jugando y está haciéndome barra. Mi tercera hija es una hija, tiene 18 años, ya puede jugar. También le acerco póker, pero cuando una muchacha tiene 18 años está más interesada en que el carro nuevo, en que ir a comprar, en que el novio. Muy contento con mis hijos, muy contento con mi vida familiar, muy contento con mi país. Me siento muy orgulloso de ser costarricense. Por eso siempre me ven la banderita, ando con esto, yo creo que...
Huh, so Humberto owns a nut factory, which probably explains why he only plays them. What I'm saying, James, is he's tight. He plays tight.
Still 13 players remaining. Only 5 will get paid in this Super High Roller event. Action on our feature table has been folded around to Jonathan Duhamel.
The champ is here. The champ is here.
Queen 6 of clubs.
He's here and he must be really bored.
Raising to 17,000.
Humberto's side requires no subtitles.
Ace King on the button for Sam Stein. It's a 3-bet to 43,000. In the small blind, Mike McDonald has 7s.
To call would be about a quarter of Mike's remaining stack, and I'm assuming he won't want to take a flop against more than one opponent.
He shoves. 180,000 total. Scott Seaver has forwarded the big blind. Jonathan Duhamel, yep, you had Queen 6, mate. He mucks. And Sam Stein calls, and we're off to the races.
Ace King, 2 7s, getting it in. This is what professional poker players like to call a 2012 cooler.
Yeah. I thought I had the Ace King. Does anyone remember?
Even though I like my range.
How much would you pay to
I like
have
my
choice
range,
after
but I'll
the flop?
trade him.
Pardon me?
How much would you pay to have choice after the flop? Like in real cash?
A lot.
Here comes the flop, which gives Stein additional outs.
Jeez. Humberto, who do you want to win? Can I borrow the shark?
What?
Okay.
That is a fatal flaw right there. Humberto never uses it before he wins. That just cost you right there. That just sealed the
Yeah,
deal.
you can't premature the shot.
Oh, this might have been a very weak play then. All right, there we go. This sweat's just really unnecessary.
Looks like Mike McDonald's jinxed himself, or maybe
Well,
not.
that helped you. That helped you a lot.
You can use. Now you can. This is going to be bad luck. I don't want that.
Timex looking really good right now. If he can dodge a queen, he will double up.
You want to pull any queens?
Yes, Duhamel did.
I knew I was going to hit too. It's so sick.
Such a needle.
It's a waste of a pair. That worked. It worked well. That wasn't me. The other 6 streets I played poorly, but the turn I played good.
Double up for Mike McDonald. Sam Stein down to 165,000.
Let's see what the kids are tweeting. Can you believe there are 88 other Mike McDonalds?
$8 chip, you know.
New blind level, 5,000, 10,000. The ante remains 1,000.
You're like, okay, yeah, $200 chips, yeah, that's
Next side L folds.
$220 though.
Jonathan Duhamel picks up 9s.
Jonathan has noof, as his people would say, or as my people say, neeners.
And who exactly are your people?
Me, because I'm the most hilarious guy in my home game.
He's raised to 22,000. Humberto Brenes with 8s.
Good genetics in that family. Look at that head of hair.
Race.
3-bet.
Umberto's got Ocho Ocho, or as the most hilarious guy in my home game calls them, snowmen. Which, by the way, is also me.
122,000.
I'm good.
Folded back around to Jonathan.
Even though Umberto only has 8s, I think this is usually a pretty easy fold. This is probably the very rock bottom of his 3-betting range, and he raised too big to just call.
Duhamel lets it go.
Umberto wins it with the Ocho Ocho!
Thanks for that.
Jonathan, what can you do? He's a neat!
Brenes now playing 462,000.
Roberto's not giving the thumbs up. He's raising just like his dad does.
On the outer table, Isaac Haxton has bet 275,000 on the river. Decision on Victor Blom.
I don't know about you, James, but I think he has to call.
Have you any idea what's been going on in this hand?
Yes, and I know that Ike has to call.
Actions on Victor.
Well, then he should fold.
Who?
Well, look, it's over, and I was right.
Isaac Haxton just keeps on winning. He was the chip leader at the start of the day. He's still the chip leader, playing 1.36 million. But the chasing pack have closed the gap. Scott Sievert and Daniel Negreanu are also playing more than 100 big blinds. If we look at the bottom half of the leaderboard, a couple of players are at risk right now. Eric Seidel playing 13 big blinds, and Will Molson has a stack of just 8 bigs. Well, no real surprise as we head back to the outer table that Will Molson is all in.
Yep.
81,000. Action on David Sands on the button.
If Doc Sands has aces, he should call.
Well, he does just call.
So one way or another, we will see Will's hand.
Victor Blom reshoves from the big blind.
Trying to isolate.
Sands has asked for a count.
There's Will Molson's dad. You know he was right up on the glass at all his hockey games.
Sands folds, so let's see the hands. Blom's got 3s.
Sick reshove.
Will Molson with ace-8.
Deuce or a 3, I'm not sure.
It's a flip. So far, so good for the 3s.
Will can make a few backdoor straights.
His immediate outs are aces and 8s. He needs to hit to survive.
Say hello to the queen and goodbye to the straight draws.
Only an ace. Only an 8. Well, we're down to 12 at the super high roller. A 3 gives Blom a set. Will Molson is eliminated.
And if Will's dad's anything like mine, that was his idea of a hug.
Meanwhile, Isildur is now 4th on the leaderboard,
Good hand, Mickey B.
playing 795,000.
They went pretty well. I came into the day one of the shorter stacks and managed to win a flip against Isildur. And then I managed to get my money in good queens against 9s, but Dan Shack hit a 9 on the flop, so that pretty much crippled me, and yeah, that was pretty much the day. Yeah, it's great having my dad down. Last year he came down for the the high roller event, which I won, and having him there was great, just for support and everything, and he makes me bring out my A game, for sure.
I put those chips on the table. Well, we're going to modify. We're going to play 8 levels like that, and then after level 9, you take those off.
Back to our feature table, where action has been folded around to Scott Sievert.
What it'll do, there'll be even more skill because the
There's ace-9 offsuit.
Boy, he and Daniel are just talking a mile a minute.
In my opinion.
Daniel and Eric Seidel are both folded. Jonathan Duhamel in the small blind has jacks.
Actually, James, it's Jacques.
Pardon, mon ami. Well, there's a trois bet.
Very nice.
Crazy. 20,000.
Just very approximately, how much do you have? Like 3, 4, 5, like even in that range?
350 behind.
Okay.
This would be a pretty loose call with ace-9.
He does make the call.
I guess if Jonathan were going to play almost any hand from the small blind, he'd probably 3-bet with it.
It's a 9 high flop.
Jonathan's in a great spot to continue and bet for value.
Considering his options.
Doesn't work like that.
He makes it 76,000.
I don't see Scott folding.
I'm all in.
He shoves.
I call.
I did not see that coming either. Obviously, Jonathan has to snap. He must have been playing very aggressively at this table for Scott to make that move.
I guess if you're going to play it, you're going to hit that flop. I mean, it's hard to do anything but.
It depends, but...
Duhamel will double up unless there is an ace or a 9 on the river. The outer table have stopped playing to watch this hand. There's the double up for Jonathan.
And just like that, Scott Siever and Jonathan Duhamel have swapped chip positions.
Well, let's not forget, the former world champion has invested $200,000 in this tournament. He busted during the first level on day 1, but was allowed to re-enter. Bill Perkins also entered twice, and busted twice.
Tú también puedes ser parte del PCA y competir contra los ases del póker mundial. Clasifícate gratis en pokersas.es, la mayor sala de póker de España.